Okay, we just start with ABC, that is activity-based costing. We have taken some sample items over here, which is a one forged finished good, and it has a two child part and a one raw material. So what we do, the components required are different unit of measurement. Plus the cost of the material is about 10 rupee 80 paisa per kg that I've considered here. The focus of the ABC is the bottom of costing, where the raw material cost plus the labor and other costs added to make a semi-finished good at a first layer. The input cost of this plus the conversion cost of semi-finished good to a forged component, where it could be labor or machine costs are added up and makes the next layer of a costing here. Okay, so for this demo, I have taken about 4 line items. Raw material is here. This is the first cut pieces. That's the raw material. Rods are cut into pieces. Then the cut pieces converted to a forged component. It becomes a finished good. Okay. Now, this is what the bill of material structure I have here. As you know, traditionally we have the every stage of item, it requires a raw material over here. This is the raw material required to make a semi-finished part cut piece. And cut piece is the input to make a forged component. And forged component is input to make a finished good. Every stage of a bill of material, you have the option to predefine the cost factors. Okay, when I say predefine the cost, the labor cost of this item, like where you are converting the raw material into rod into the semi-finished part, maybe per piece cost maybe 125 rupees labor cost, machine 190 rupees. Plus the next layer items, the different costs can be defined. Now in our ERP, you have the option either you predefine it or at the time of a production reporting, you can define the cost there. Okay, so what I have done is I have defined a couple of parts here. Plus, I have defined a bill of material structure here. So let us transfer this data into the ERP side. Okay. So already I'm in the screen where we are creating the product master data. Okay. This is our master creation data. Okay. Let us take all this as a zero cost. This I'm taking a opening cost itself. Quantity of 14.5 kg. Either I define it as a opening stock here, or I need to do the purchase receipt to take the stock inside. So here I'll just say take the stock inside. 14.5 kg is the opening stock I'm taking there. And product cost I'll take as 10.8. That is rest of the product I take a zero cost for the calculation. This is my raw material cost of 10.8. Rest of the things I'll just leave it as it is. So we can go ahead with the creating the master data. If any error comes, we'll handle that. So system said data is okay. Okay, location ID cannot, so just take the locations over there. Because in my environment, location is the mandatory. Okay, we just create locations for all the items and we just do the validation. Okay, data is okay. It's saying now we can save it. So we save it. So these 4 items are uploaded into the ERP. Okay, once it is done, the next one is we have to create a bill of material. This is the we are doing for testing our ABC costing analysis here. Okay. Now the option is either we create manually one at a time, or we can bulk upload can be done here with the bill of material structure here. For the sake of that, this particular session, we will do it manually. We'll go to the manufacturing. We go to the bill of material over here. And we create a bill of material. Let us say we create the small piece, the bottommost one. So we can keep the same part number as the bill of material ID. Semi-finished good. To make a one component, I need the raw material. This is my CC1200 raw material. Okay, I need about 14.5 kg. That's what we mentioned over here, right? This is what we mentioned the bill of material structure over there. Okay, we'll just mention that. Now we have a two more component, labor and machine cost. So that will take it here. Labor is about 125 and 190, and the machine cost is 190 rupees. Of course, you have the some other costs are there. Based on the overhead cost or electricity cost, you have option to define. Now, one thing you have to be clear here, when you define the one quantity, as per the BOM, this labor cost you are getting the paid, or it is it for a shift. Okay. Most of the business, what they do, they take it for a per shift basis, they will go. And some of the case, the piece work kind of a case, single item like you can define the cost and go ahead there. Okay. Now, in case you have any scraps are coming as a byproduct, you have the option to define that also here. So that the idea behind the byproduct is I'm going to generate some scrap coming out of this particular finished good. Like for example, I put a 14.5 kg raw material I'm putting in. And as I taken a opening stock with 10 rupee 80 paisa per piece, this is my material cost I'm putting inside. Let us say out of 14.5 kg raw material, let's say I get a 1 kg coming out of that. Maybe I'll say 15 rupees is the one I'm getting the cost out of that. It's a recovery cost I'm showing it here. We just save this. So my first bill of material is done. This one is done. We'll go to the next component. That is the forged component we have to go. We define the forge. Again, to make a one piece, what I need is the cut piece basically. So this is the same cut piece. We'll take it here. Cut piece. What you need is a one piece. Okay. Here also, as per the calculation, we have the cost here 250 and 290. 250 my labor cost and machine is 290. Again, we take it per shift basis. Okay. We'll not take any byproduct here. We'll take the cost as it is. To make a one forged component, this is the raw material required and these are the cost added to it. We just save it. After the final is my this particular finished good. Okay, this is my forged RAM. This basically to make a one component. I need this forged item. So what we are trying to build here is the multi-layer of a bill of material also. Okay, one number. This is my labor cost is 550 and machine cost is 90. Okay, these costs are just for indication here in this example, and I just save it. Now what we did is we have defined all our three layer of bill of materials, parent to the child. Now let us see whether the data is right or wrong as a part of process to make sure we're in the right direction. Once the bill of material is done, I'll just check this item over here for this particular finished good. This is the finished good. Say one number I want to manufacture. Let us see what is the data going to come. So to make this, I need a semi-finished, basically 1:1 ratio. Then it a cut piece 1:1 ratio, and this requires a 14.5 kg. So my linkage of the raw material to the first layer, to the second, and to the finish is done. Okay. Now what we do is we will just define a operations to indicate what operation I'm doing, finishing, forging, and cutting kind of a thing. Being my environment here, I do have the operations already created, so I'll not go into that. I'll just create a work center. Work center is the place or the location where the activity happens. Okay, I just got a work center called MRP test for the testing purpose. Okay, I'll use the same, not much difference would make there. That's for the testing purpose with the costing, what we are looking there. So I'll just take a MRP test and let us say this is the finished good I'm going to manufacture here. The next one is my forged component. This is a very good process to identify the work center and location so that you know exactly what activity happening where. In case you have a subcontracting or other things, you tell the system this is the product you are going to make, what bill of material to be used, right? Then I have a cutting operation. Next, I have a forging operation. Then last but not least, my finishing operation. These are the three operations I have to work on this particular products. So this is again a defining a work center, just to tell the system what sequence of activities to be done. Okay. Once it is done, the next one is just a routing process, because if you are going to use the work order and all, better you define the routing. It just takes a minute to finish. I'll just finish. Okay, this is my finished good. To make this manufacturing, my operation is first operation is cutting. If you look at here, this is my operation defined for each of these process, right? So I'll take the same thing and add the here. This is that MRP test. The item is going to come out in the cut pieces, first operation. The second is again forging process. This is at here, and this is the item going to come out of this. Last but not least one is the finishing. Again, is that same work center where the activity happening there. Okay, this should have been forged one because this is not semi-finished. Okay. And this is the finished code. Okay, and this is the below. It is just saying that what routing operation you're going to have, and you have the option. If anything, you are in subcontract, you have the option to give it to the outside for subcontracting purpose. Okay, so the advantage of a subcontract operation, every cost is considered as a part of the process, and subcontract costs are added to the product cost. For the sake of this, I'll just give this second operation subcontracting, where you don't do the in-house operation. Okay, with this, I'll create my routing operation. Okay, so the product is done. So what we did, we created a part master, bill of material. Then we created a routing process also, and we create a work order. Work order I am doing for the transaction purpose, how it works out to see the process here. It makes simplified life. So this is my post RAM is a finished good. Let's say I need to make a 10. Now to make this 10 finished good, I need to pick up this particular routing process. System gives me the predefined the process, cutting, forging, and finishing operation, what I'm going to do. Here, as we said, this particular item is going to be subcontracting, right? With this, we just save the work order. This is my work order done. Now we'll start looking at how the costing works in the ERP, in ACTouch ERP. So what we do, we'll go to the work order here. Okay, this particular report progress is there. This is the operation. This is the first operation here. 10 number is there, and this is the cut piece first operation, as you know that we are doing. We'll just do the report the progress here. Finish code reporting. Okay, the first operation one. So this is the shape, site ID and shift. This is my document ID. This is the first cutting. Let us say I'm going to manufacture 10 numbers. Right. Now, if you look at here, total my production cost has come already 350. The reason for that is, if you remember, we have put in the labor and machine cost already put in. That cost is already considered here, 315 rupees. Because the reason is we are going to report a 10 number production. Okay. So my total production cost 350. Here, if you look at my product showing 10, let's say one piece I need. Batch number of the product, one piece. So unit cost, let's say I take a 15 rupees. So 15 rupees is the byproduct where the scrap is coming off, right? Which is the income to the business here. When I sell the scrap, I make a byproduct cost. However, my total production cost reduces by the same year, right? So 315 is my raw material is cost is not added here. Still, we just have the labor and machine cost. In fact, if you want change, you can change it to 200 rupees, for example, right? Now total production cost become 325. So per piece is 32.50 paisa. Since we recover 15 rupees, your cost become 30. Now we will consume the raw material because we need this 14.5 kg as a part of the process. Okay. Oh, sorry, the numbers is very high. Let me take one number. Okay. Now the 14.5U and raw material required is the 14.5U because that's what my error message showed on my dashboard. So my material cost is 156.60 paisa. Per unit cost is 10 rupee 80 paisa. That is the stock we put in. This is my raw material cost which I'm putting inside. So in the summary, if you look at here, my total product cost is 481.60 paisa because my labor 125, machine is 200, plus my material cost is 156.60 paisa. So 481.60 minus 51 I'm recovering. So my product cost is for one product is 466.60 paisa. Okay. So we have considered the byproduct where the scrap is coming out and doing and total cost is identified. We just save it. I took only one item because the production reporting, I had only one item raw material. So this is what the system is going to come over here. You want to see the details, system shows the work order and the FGR number over here. Once it is done, the next operation is the ODC, outward delivery channel. If you remember, we said this operation going to be subcontracting, we do it. We just make a delivery channel. We transfer this item subcontracting and receiving it. So I'll just give to one of my subcontractor and location. Okay, and this is the operation and the item expected out of that. I sent for one item. Let us say we give it 29.80 paisa we charge. That's a service charge we give it to per piece. We'll go to the raw material. To make this finished good, this is my raw material required. If you remember, we have one number available with us, right? So we just transfer from the stores to the A location where the subcontracting operation is held, right? So the material cost is 466.60 paisa. If you remember, that is our first operation. My material has come, the output has come, right? So we just save it. So my outward delivery channel done. Once the outward delivery challenge done, where the material is transferred to the subcontracting, so the inward option comes. Assumption here is after sending the material outside to the subcontractor, you can do the inward DC. That's the time system picks which delivery challenge you have to use. The reason for that is whenever you send any outward delivery challenge, we need to make sure that is what comes inside back into the system. So the complete cycle of a material went and inside is handled over there. Okay. So this is my abort spot. This is the work order against which I am doing. This is the bill of material I am going to use. Let us say I receive one number, right? Now against that, if you load, system says this is the bill of material to be used, and this is the cut piece I gave it to him, right? So system says this is the document against which you sent one number. Still one is pending. I'll consume one number here. Now my raw material cost is 466, and if you look at my finished good cost is also 466 because the same raw material cost is consumed to finish good, right? Now what about the service cost now? Traditionally, that service cost has to be added to the product cost, right? So what you do here is, do you want to add the service cost to finished good? Just click here. Now we see the finished good cost is increased. So 466 is the raw material plus 2980 and it becomes 496. The advantage of this model is when you do the invert the finished good, system also creates the automatic GRN to pay the service charge to the supplier. Okay. So we just save it. My inward delivery challenge done, where the one component of a forged component has come into the system. So that item has come here, and the final will go ahead. We report the production here. Now, this is again the same thing. I report the one number component over here. My production cost is already 640 because if you remember, we had put in the 550 and 90 rupees per shift, the item cost we had put in. Now, this is my forged component cost, which we remember we got it inward DC from the subcontractor. We will add this. Now, if you look at here, my raw material cost is 496.40 plus the additional cost of 640, right? So the total cost become 1136.40. This is how we built a activity based costing, and that's how the cost is moving from the bottom of pieces. This is a pretty simple and easy to do in the ERP. It completely takes the end-to-end process of transactions. Okay. Thanks a lot.